Hello everyone. In this video we'll do some major fixes. The first one is we're gonna change our box collision for a whole building to small precise collisions only for building parts. The reason why I'm gonna do that is because if I build a basement and stairs for my building, I want to be able to build it walls from the inside of the building. But handling overlaps using the whole box doesn't allow me to do that. So let's go to a construction component. And here we are adding a box collision in function add box component. We're not gonna do that. I will just disconnect this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a box collision for every building part. Here where we are looping in begin play through each part and binding on build uh, dispatcher. We also will call some function in build part component. Let's create it and name it add uh, position validation component. And it will be the same as add box component. Let's just copy it with some small changes. Here we will not promote it to variable box collision, we will promote it to another variable. So let's promote it and call it uh, position validation box. Connect it everywhere. Also, I will delete this and open construction component and copy these parts from here and add them here and change box collision to position validation box everywhere. Also, this box should return some, this function should return this box. So let's add a return node here. And it will return position validation box. Here it is. Now in construction component in begin play, we will call this function from build part component and create position, add position validation component. And then we will bind it on these events that we already created. I will delete this. Let's leave this branch empty just for now. And we will copy this thing from here to here. And not box collision, but position validation box. And I will also disconnect this just for now. Now here on box begin overlap, we should check if it doesn't overlap something else from this actor. So if it overlaps other actor, that is, let's get an owner, maybe get parent, get get parent actor if and get owner of current component. If it is not equal to this, then we're doing that. Now, also here we should do the same. Now on the build part component, every time we have built it, something, not can build on build it, we should remove this box. We don't need it anymore. So we get it, and do we need to remove it from parent? No, we just need to destroy this component. So let's call destroy component here. Now let's check it. And let's build something. And previously I wasn't able to enter house because in that case everything would be colored red because I will overlap them. And now I can, and I can build. Okay, I don't know why. Oh, whoa. I think the problem with this is that we have a wall here. Why can't be able to build this? Hmm, that looks scary. Okay, we're looping through each actor here, getting build part component and creating a box. Lane begin play. Okay, and I think that one of the issues, let me check, I will, during make trace, let me add resources to log and wall, and we will see. I'll open log, and resources to build will be items log 1, and I will open house wall. And it will have two resources. For example, 10 branches and 7 logs. Now let's see. I will also increase speed of my animation for test purposes. So I will be able to build much faster. No. Okay, log. Seems like this one log. I don't know what happens with the trace. I will debug this trace for duration, and for my beam I have simple collision and bounce. Oh, okay. Bounce rectangle is fine. No. Okay, let's see where it trace. Yeah, here it is. I'm hitting something strange here, and I don't know what it is. And then I will print. Let's print what we're hitting. I will not draw it. I will just print hit actor. I'm still hitting this beam. By the way, why this happens? Let's continue. I've made a pause to discover what is the problem, and here's what I found. I opened my beam blueprint here, and here is my beam. It's just one static mesh component here. And in construction script, I'm adding box collision with actor bounce. Here is how it looks like. And as we can see, bounds are too big here. And the way to solve this is to get a component and uh, get component bounds. I will show you, this also will not work, but I will show you how it looks like now. Now it looks okay, but for example, in my scene, as you can see, depending on rotation of my actor and component, need bounding box changes. And the problem is not in rotation, it also changes on its width and height. So to fix this, uh, we should use not component bounds, but local bounds. Then we will subtract uh, min from max, and it will give us an extent of box, but extent means half of size, so we'll divide it by 2 and place it here. And now, oh, I forgot to add a location, and location will be like get component bounds to get the origin of our box, and this origin goes to world location and this goes to extents. Now collision looks like this. Here is how it looks like in on level, so it doesn't depend on any rotation. Now let's fix this in our build part component. Here we are adding a box collision depending on actor bounds. Now what we should do, we should add the box collision for every static mesh component in the actor. So we're getting actor, get components by class, static mesh component here, and for each of them, we are creating a box collision. We're creating a box collision. Maybe we should check. Also, you can add a check by some tag here. For example, if you have an actor with a lot of static meshes here and you want collision to be added to only one of them, you can add some tag to unneeded somewhere here, and you will check if the component doesn't have a tag. I will not do that because I don't need this. So let's continue. We're getting component and we are creating a box collision. Then we are getting bounds, we're getting local bounds, and we're getting component bounds. Adding box collision to an actor. And after that, we're connecting new world location to get component bounds origin, and we're connecting box collision extends to max minus min divided by 2. Also multiplying it on custom box scales that we can set manually. And here is how it looks like. Also, that's not enough. Previously, we had only one collision, promoted it to variable box collision. Now we should promote it to it should be an array of collisions. So let's make it an array. Here it is. And now something will not work, of course, and we are getting our box collision array here and making add instead of setting and adding this local box collision every time. Now let's move to an event graph. We're adding box component and to the place where we are uh, we're setting collision response to channel. Here we will not do this we will do it in for each loop. For each loop, let's compile. Fine. Okay, and now I think we hope we didn't forget anything, and let's test. I will place a lumber here and enable show collision. Okay, now collision is fine, except a roof, but for a roof I just have a bad static mesh. And let's place a house. And we have something here. I don't know what it is. It's horizontally aligned boxes. Okay, by the way, let's try to build it now. Okay, now it builds correct beam. I don't understand what is this boxes, but maybe I'll see it. We'll see it a little bit later. Okay, length of building is not enough. Length of line trace, but it can be increased. So this works, and but validation will not work because we didn't add. I've disconnected this for test purposes. So let's connect it again, and we'll do the same thing here. So on add position validation component, I will remove everything here, paste it here, and we're doing the same, not promoting it to a variable. We will promote it to local variable and call it local box collision. And connect it everywhere. And here on return node, we're not going to return only one. We will return an array of box collisions, and return will be located on completed of for each loop. So we also need an array here. Let's call it box collisions. And here we will get an array and add. We're gonna add this local box collision, and we will return local box collisions. Now let's open our construction component here where we are adding position validation component. We will do a for each loop like this, disconnect everything, and bind it. Now let's test it. It, it doesn't work. Access none, trying to access box collision. Oh, not here, not here, not here. On the construction, we don't need this. I will delete it. Okay, get overlapped component higher than. Here we are taking a box collision that we don't use anymore. Let's delete this. And now we need to make some changes in get overlapped component higher than. So to do this, we need to make an input in this function with components that overlap. So let's go to get overlap component and make a pin. Here is the target, and the target will be overlapped component. And we should do the same on here. Great. Now let's see how it works. Okay, it seems like it overlaps with everything. Now, and let's open it back. And let's open this function. We're doing this check here, so we don't need to do it here. We don't need a branch here, I think. Okay, and get overlapped component higher than always returns something. We don't know what we overlapped, and we're getting it bounds. Maybe let's print what we are overlapping. It will be easiest way to find out what is the problem. Okay, I freezed. I had the runtime error, access none, destroy component, position validation box here. Of course, we don't have a position validation box. Anymore. Why didn't it? Oh, we have it. Now let's delete this. And here we should destroy every component from here, from this array. Let's also promote this array to not local variable to be able to destroy it later. And name it position validation boxes. And don't change per state, we will get these positions, make for each loop. And we will destroy every collision, and we will connect next for each loop with completed. And not here. Okay, let's test it. Okay, I freezed again. Maybe that's because of enormous amount of prints. Let's add branches back. If other actor, okay, let's check if other actor is valid. No, we don't need this. If other actor get owner, no, get parent actor, if its parent actor doesn't equal to an owner of this component, then we doing this. So we didn't need to delete it. Now let's test it again. It overlaps with box components from parts of a building. So let's open build part component and add function add box validation component. Let's see what it overlaps. Build part detection. Okay, it blocks trace channel. It has collision object type building, ignores everything except static, dynamic, pawn, and building. Okay. Now, on netbox component has type building. I think it should. No. Set collision response to all channel. Building part detection block. And this also has building part detection block. Okay, position validation doesn't have to block building part detection. Also, this box component should have some object type. Okay, let's set object type. Maybe we've created already one for that reason. And it will be building, I think. Okay, now let's test it. Maybe it will not overlap with itself now. No, it still overlaps with itself. Okay, position validation still overlaps with... oh, it should not be building because in position validation overlaps with building. It should not... This setbox component is used only to track what part we hit and to show resources needed. So what do we need is to set a channel to building part detection. For example, it will block channel and it will be this channel. Let's see how it will work now. Okay, I don't understand why still hits with itself. Oh, and no, it can't be this. Let's just for test reasons make it camera. No, not a camera, like oh, world optimizable channel. It's my custom channel. Still overlaps. It still overlaps. And the reason for that may be in construction component in that function. Okay, I forgot to connect branch with a function. It doesn't solve anything, but it should be connected. Now let's open the function construction component. Play. So we're getting an owner of this component, and also we should check a parent actor of the sector. So let's get a parent actor. of the sector, it should not be equal to owner of current component, and it's gonna be an AND boolean. Okay, now it works, but when I'm inside of the building, it seems like basement. Let me, let's continue. I fixed some issues, and in add position validation component in build part component, we should also provide a relative rotation of static mesh component in for each loop here. And we need to do the same in add box component here. Also in construction component in set can build function, we should add a check if can build changed. So we just add in a new branch, checking if current can build differs from new can build we want to set, and if it differs, then we're doing something. So this will fix any lags, and it will work fine. Now it detects collision with my hammer. And I forgot that I disconnected function. I don't remember what I disconnected. Here I have disconnected unbuilded one of components. Now let's connect them again. So now when I build it part, I can enter a building. Here I have a collision for my wall with a door, but it doesn't know that I have a door here. And now I can build from the inside without any problems. It doesn't mark red. And if I enter some of objects that I want to build, they are marked red. Thanks for watching. I fixed some issues, but maybe I forgot to tell about some of them. If you have any problems, feel free to tell about them in comments. I will try to answer.